What happens when someone makes a movie that takes the old adage, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it, to the seventh degree?
You just might end up paying for your own Big Mac and a Coke.
Find out next on Trees in Space. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trees in Space, the show where we watch every movie of all genres and we tell you what the fans thought, what the critics thought, and what we think. Is it worthy of a forest or just a stump to sit on? I'm Jason, and that's Nate. And in case you missed this week's thumbnail, we watched the 2000 comedy Bedazzled, starring Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley. So, Nate, this is a 25-year-old movie. It's starring an actor that was pretty big back in 2000.
He was big, but he wasn't big. He looked good with his shirt off. Um, I didn't realize Brendan Fraser.
Encino Man, I think he was in that right before then.
Oh yeah, that was in the '90s. But I think during this period, as we were talking off air, I think it was right around the time of the Mummy,
Mm-hmm.
and God, he was so popular back then.
He's a really good looking guy and he acted however he acted. But let me tell everybody what this movie is about. It's a remake of a 1967 movie, I believe.
You are correct, sir. Yes!
And basically, a guy wants a girl and he's to do anything to do it to have the girl in his life. So the devil comes up to him and says, I will give you seven wishes. I will grant all seven of them. And in return, I get your soul. Pretty basic stuff. Happens to me daily.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't get visited by the Elizabeth Hurley like devil that just I, I would have sold my soul too.
Yeah, I know. It's like the introduction of her, I think, is top 10 of introductions of like a sex appeal of someone. Like, you know, when that pool ball hits his shoe and he looks up and she's standing there in the red dress.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, yeah, you have my soul. Whatever you want.
I kept getting caught up with how many costume changes she had in this movie.
Mm.
Like every scene she was wearing something else. It was very rare that she wore something longer than 90 seconds, I feel. Um,
Well,
and
she's around me. That'd probably be the case too.
I'm not upset by it, but it's got to be hard to keep up with. I wonder if they did that for like scene editing or something, like if there was a reason behind her doing so many costume changes.
Yeah,
Uh,
because he didn't do any unless he was actually in one of his wishes.
yeah, and I do want to appreciate the opening credits a little bit.
Mm.
They were labeling people,
Yeah, I like that.
and my favorite one was when they had the baby and it just labeled it as a freeloader. That could have probably been the best part of this entire movie.
Oh no, not at all. I think the his character, Brendan Fraser's character that he becomes when he makes his wishes, every one of them was just not everyone, but the sensitive guy, I do.
Well, you since you bring that up, how did you feel about them? Like, which one was your favorite? So you
The
out of all the Brendan Fraser roles, you have the OG, the drug lord, the pussy, the basketball player, the smarty pants, Lincoln. Then you have confident OG at the
um let's see, because there was um where here's the thing. Okay, well I my favorite one, I don't know, I liked them all. I liked the little twist on each one of them, why it didn't work out. I thought it was great. But I think my favorite one, oh, it's so tough, but as a whole was probably the basketball player. I think
he played it very
what the hell? What the
yo, just give it 110%.
He's
And
sweating all over the place.
I found that to be a very like an 80s comedy homage. If you like with
Oh
the
yeah.
concept of sweating and all that. It's a very old kind of a
Hmm.
joke. I just
I thought the special effects were pretty good considering he isn't 7'3", but I mean they did I thought they did that pretty good most of the scenes. There's
yeah.
one part there where it looked like okay, you could tell that was not so good. But what was your favorite guy?
Um, I kind of like the drug lord.
Oh, he was great.
He's like, "Oh, I do speak Spanish. Hola, sí, so." Like he's just like,
Yes.
"I
And
do
of course,
speak
I speak
Spanish."
Russian.
And he's like, "If my Spanish teacher would have known this from then, like I just starts
Exactly.
biblioteca and starts just rounding off basic Spanish."
Oh, he was busted. Oh, he was so great in Spanish, and he's like, "How's the English lessons going, honey?" He goes, "Oh, you learned that from Raoul after 6 months for Raoul." He was getting so he was so upset with Raoul. Um, the main character, Brendan for Elliot.
Yes, Elliot Richards.
He Richard, yeah, Elliot Richards, I think Richards, but he was a geeky, dorky kind of guy. The very first 3 to 5 minutes of the movie, like showing he's a really aggravating person.
Yeah, not very confident, socially awkward.
But the moment he met the devil and she's kissing him, and he's like, "Okay, I think you're a little crazy." He wasn't that same character. He already changed a little bit. He wasn't
Oh,
that,
he changed quick.
and that was even before he has wishes. He was like, "I'm gonna leave now." It wasn't the same person he was. And then when she took that thing and threw it into the car and caught it on fire, and he went to put it out and they walked away. It still caught on fire behind him. I love that little. I love sight gags like that stuff happening in the background.
Same. Uh, I so this movie's 25 years old,
Hmm.
and I was shocked that 25 years ago you could get a Big Mac and a Coke for 3.47.
That was insane.
I don't even know what is the price of a Big Mac and a Coke now. I should have looked
I,
that up. I should have been way more prepared for this.
Big Mac. Well, I know a Big Mac's like $5 by itself, or like 3.95. So you can get Coke any size at McDonald's for $1. So that hasn't gone up much. I mean, how much does sugar and water cost anyway?
$6.
$6. Well, that's actually not so bad for 25 years. It went up $2.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe inflation isn't so bad. Um, so he gets the first, and then let's go by the wish, by wish. Okay. He don't believe her, and he finally does, and she makes him sign this really big contract.
Mhm.
Um, I thought it was funny how
Nobody could possibly read.
no. His first wish was to become uh intimidating, successful, and with the girl. And he becomes a drug lord.
Yes.
And we went through that a little bit where she was cheating on him,
Hmm.
and she hated him.
Oh yeah.
And one of the sexiest things I've seen, I'm sorry, this was very sexy to me, but was after she told him she wanted to vomit instead of looking at him, whatever. And she's throwing things at him in the kitchen, I mean the bedroom,
Yeah.
and she's wearing the nightgown or whatever, the still, and she's throwing. I found that very sexy. I don't know what I found sexy about
I don't know what that says about you.
that.
Uh,
And he gets out of there, and he has to, oh, if he don't like his wish, he pushes 666 on his little pager.
right. Unless he's the basketball player,
Yeah.
which is 555-777-999, and sees all the notes and is
Yes.
666. She really did him in.
Because if he didn't think of it perfectly, it was something different. Because then he said he wants to be the most sensitive man ever, and he goes emotionally sensitive, and he kept crying at the sunset, and just
I kept questioning what the hook was. Like I thought he was gonna be like a eunuch. Like
mm,
his stuff didn't work. Uh, just like when he was the successful writer, author, Smarty Pants guy.
mm.
The catch was he was gay.
Yes, I'm gay.
Yeah, that was perfect too. He goes, "Kiss me." He kisses a beautiful woman. Yep, I'm gay.
Yep. Uh,
But
now
my question, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I have a question for you,
Yeah.
if you were in his position, you had that one wish left.
Hmm.
You only got one left. What would you wish for?
I wish I never signed that contract.
Oh,
I was asked that question like 20 years ago when me and Becca watched it. So I do, or something similar to that.
yeah.
I wish I never met you, devil, or something like that. What would yours been?
You know, I thought long and kind of hard about it. I think my wish would just be I want my normal life. I don't want to have to worry about debt. I don't have to worry about where I live. I don't want to have to worry about food, gas, any necessities in life. I don't want to have to ever worry about it. If I need it, it's there. If I want it, it's available. And I want to be confident and I want to be successful in whatever I do.
So what if they put you in prison? You
I'm
can be
success-
successful in prison.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to be successful in prison.
You sure about that?
Put me wherever. I just want to be successful. I want a humble life.
That's great. I'd be successful in prison because if you're successful in prison, you're a bad man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Everything I want and need is available. I don't have to worry about any expense of any sort.
Mhm.
Everything is taken care of for me. I just live a simple life.
That's a good wish. That's a good one. It's my question was not nearly as thought provoking as this, but he had three friends, the three gentlemen friends. There's a
Mhm.
fourth girl that was in
Yeah,
there
the
too, but
lady
she
we're
wasn't
working.
in any of the wishes. Why did they change their personality, who they were? Why did their whole, group change? Because he was gay, but he was gay with a relationship with one of his guy friends.
Yes.
So why did it's like the whole world changed, this whole universe changed, even the people in it, but the same people with different personalities. I didn't get that at all.
I just figured it was kind of like the Wizard of Oz effect,
Hmm.
where the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion were,
Oh, okay, that's fair.
the Wicked Witch was the
Hmm.
woman who hated Toto. I just figured it was kind of like that scenario where
Yeah.
it draws the parallels.
Because the girl that he was in love with also changed her personality and stuff. Because he really did love the sensitive one, but she's like, you know what? I just want someone to try to get in my pants, and went off with him. And then she just wanted the basketball player because he had a humongous, possibly had a humongous ego. And then when he dropped his towel, and she's like, oh, so she was just a,
She was horny.
yeah, she just wanted a big fat, ego. And so, but I really liked the twist at the end where he just wanted her to have a good life.
Hmm.
And then as he's doing his bike, whatever, helping someone move in, he meets someone that looks just like her with a quirky personality, a personality that fits his better.
Right. And I found it wonderful. Like the fact that he was able to ask her out, the OG girl out,
Hmm.
and she was like, "Oh, that's so sweet, but I'm with somebody."
Yes,
She found happiness,
she
even
did.
though it wasn't with him. And he was like, "You know what? If it doesn't work out, hit me up." And he was okay with it.
But my favorite part of this movie, and I've used this many times since I've seen it, is when he's in the jail cell with the other guy,
Hmm.
who I'm gonna guess is God.
I would go with that based on the chess cameo at the end of the movie.
Hmm. And the conversation they were having back and forth, it was like 2 minutes long. And
Yeah.
and he's like, what are you in here for? And he said, eternity. That's a long time. Well, you must do something bad. I sold my soul. Yeah. He's like, what'd you get for it? Nothing. That's a bad deal if you ask me.
Yeah.
He goes, but you can't sell your soul because it don't really belong to you anyhow.
Can't sell your soul anyway.
Oh, really? Why do you say that?
It doesn't really belong to you in the first place. No way, no how.
And I heard that, and I'm like, dude, that's one of the best things I've heard in a movie. You can't sell your soul; it doesn't belong to you. That's if you're a religious type person, you believe in God and things of that sort. So, I think that's why I like this movie so much. If that part wasn't there, it'd be just an average movie to me.
You know, I enjoyed that this movie is very it's not a good movie. It's not a great movie. It's a quirky movie. It's a movie that you can just kind of mentally check out at. Um it was long for being, only an hour and a half ish,
Hmm.
but it kind of needed that time to kind of build its world. Kind of like Office Space. It kind of starts off kind of slow, and you need that kind of burn to get
Right.
this movie going. Um, I was into it, for an hour and a half. I did like how she was like, it's good to have a friend in hell, especially when she's a devil and she was quite keen
Mhm.
on him. You know, if eternity is being her sex slave, I feel like that's not horrible. Just saying.
Hmm. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about this, or should we move on to the 5-star, 1-star reviews? The first 5-star review we have is from Unknown. Loved it 10 years ago, loved it even more 10 years later. Harold Ramis, oh, that's right, knows how to put the fun on movies. Elizabeth Hurley can't be more alluring. Enjoy every characters that Brendan Fraser and Frances O'Connor played. They brought this movie to life. Frances O'Connor was the female that she was in love with.
Oh, I gotcha. So the first 1 star, the last comes from Sean D. Pretty bad, not funny, although the ending was pretty nice. I may have said that because I was glad it ended.
Pretty rude, dick. So the next 5-star review is from Bry Shaw. Very funny and very fun and funny. The versatile and charm of the lead sells it for me.
That's it.
That's it. You
Boom.
don't need a lot for have a 5-star.
I guess not. I do commend Brendan Fraser. He played 7 different characters in this movie.
And he did him very well.
He did. I think he did a stellar performance, and I think, it's not his fault that it was a bad movie. Uh, this next 1 star or less comes from Rory S. I do not like this movie because of the scene where the bullies pick on the nice guy. Disturbing.
That's the sensitive guy, not the nice guy. Just because he's sensitive, don't make him nice. And that was sad in his face. It just kept getting. Just because I don't. You know what? Just watch the movie. Um, the last 5-star review comes from an unknown. Most of these are unknown for the 5-star reviews. I guess they don't want to let anyone know.
I wonder
Hmm.
why.
I love this movie, and I still do. I was 12 when it came out. There is some nostalgia, but it's pure fun. It's not slapstick or pure stupidity, but rather snarky humor. I didn't think it was snarky. And it totally appeals to me. If you're looking for something a little more intelligent than a Will Ferrell movie, you'll probably find this humorous.
Wow. A jab at Will Ferrell
I
and
know it's shot.
who hurt you?
Yeah,
Really,
it's
Will
like what's a
Ferrell.
random shot at Will for?
Yeah, this guy wasn't even involved then. What the hell? Why did he hurt you? Tell us in the comments. The last 1 star or less comes from an unknown. Only thing about this movie worth watching is Liz Hurley in those tight suits. The original is far superior.
No idea. Haven't seen the original,
Me
but
either. I didn't know this was a remake until
uh,
I was looking through comments.
yeah, yeah, I agree with Elizabeth Hurley because she's a good-looking woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Okay, well let's do with the 5-star. This is a 5-star. What the F review, and it's actually kind of long for the ones I usually give, and I only picked it because of the very last thing this person says. So light and funny, makes me laugh maybe because I am Colombian. So cute, perfect every night, a perfect day night movie. The Oscar winners are way too stiff. Loved it. Quote, you know what the largest organ in the human body is? End quote. Just have a Rikito watch. Or how pro basketball players pick up. Loved it. One of my funeral picks.
What's a funeral pick? Are you supposed to pick a movie to play at your funeral?
I don't know. That's why this is what the hell I didn't understand most of that. And the Colombian thing and the I don't know. But yeah, that was my thing. What's the funeral pick? Why don't you tell us down in the comments what a funeral pick is?
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
So let's move on to how Rotten Tomatoes and the audience scored this movie. Okay, so Rotten Tomatoes scored this movie at exactly 50%. So just as many people loved it, as many people hated it.
High
The
bar.
audience, which is you, scored it a little bit lower at 43%.
Ooh, high bar.
Yeah. Well, you've heard what the audience thinks, you heard what Rotten Tomatoes thinks, you've heard what the critics think. Now you get to hear what Nate and I think. Okay, well, I love this movie in 2000. It's fallen off a little bit since then. I think Brendan Fraser did a great job in the character he did. I think the woman, the love interest, did a great job too. I think everyone did a great job. I don't think it was serious. I don't think it's meant to be serious. 90 minutes of good wasted time. I could put this on my playlist once a year. I recommend it to my surgeon. Um, as a comedy, I find it very appealing. So I'm gonna give it two trees and a stump.
Uh, Now it's my turn. Now I will say that I would not recommend this movie to my surgeon. This movie is best left with nostalgia. I've seen it once, probably in 2001, 2002 range, and I liked it then. This movie is my Corky Romano. Love Corky Romano. Terribly afraid to bring it back to the table because I don't want to hate Corky Romano. And that's how this movie should have been left, in the I loved it and now I don't. Uh, Random dick and penis jokes that didn't land. Elizabeth Hurley was beautiful and she did great as the devil. Brendan Fraser acted wonderfully. Um, I just it just didn't hold up. With that, I will say I will give this movie one tree and a stump.
Okay, you heard it here. You heard the unbiased opinion of mine and the hateful opinion of Nate. And please leave a comment down here what you guys think. Tell us what we should watch so you will watch. Please feed that algorithm monster. And we will see you next Monday on Trees in Space.